Truong's mother suspects that tieu nu is pregnant, but the truth hasn't been revealed yet. Tieu nu faces the biggest decision of her life. Will she dare to confess this secret? Will Truong return to welcome their first child? Or will he leave her to face this huge challenge alone? How will Truong's mother react when she learns the truth? And can tieu nu protect her love and family from the coming storm? As Truong's mother worries about the strange signs in tieu nu's behavior, one big question slowly emerges in her mind. Is the child tieu nu is carrying truly? Truong, stay tuned for the next episode to see the intense and unexpected twists unfold. Tieu nu invited Truong's mother inside with a gentle smile, trying to create a comfortable atmosphere. She placed a bowl of fresh grapes on the table and offered them to her. Truong's mother didn't hesitate to take some, praising the sweetness of the grapes and telling tieu nu to eat more for her health. Tieu nu simply nodded, but inside she felt a growing sense of unease. Her mind was unsettled thinking about Truong's mother's suspicions about her pregnancy. She could feel the tension in the air, even though she tried to keep her composure. Suddenly, Truong's mother opened a tray of salmon she had brought with her. The smell of the fish immediately filled the room, heavy and rich. But to tieu nu, despite the pleasant scent for others, it hit her stomach like a wave. She couldn't keep calm. Her body reacted strongly, and she quickly stood up, hand over her mouth, rushing outside. Truong's mother immediately stood up, looking after tieu nu with a worried expression. She didn't understand what was happening, only that tieu nu had rushed out without an explanation. She quickly followed her footsteps, echoing in the quiet space. When she reached the yard, tieu nu was bent over, clutching her mouth, desperately trying to vomit everything she'd just eaten. The sight made Truong's mother's heart tighten. She asked if tieu nu was okay, but tieu nu just shook her head, trying to reassure her, saying she just needed some rest. Truong's mother still wasn't at ease, urging tieu nu to see a doctor if she didn't feel well. But tieu nu quickly declined, saying she would be fine, that she just wasn't used to the smell of the salmon. The anxious and confused feelings inside tieu nu weren't easy to shake off. Truong's mother looked at her with concern, unsure if there was something she wasn't understanding. Meanwhile, tieu nu felt a storm of thoughts taking over her mind. She wasn't sure if it was the pregnancy or just her body's strong reaction to the unfamiliar food. The doubts about her future, her relationship with Truong, began to rise in her like a turbulent wave. Tieu nu tried to stay calm quickly, saying she would go change her clothes because they were stained, in an attempt to escape the tense atmosphere. While Truong's mother waited, she hurried to her room, her mind filled with tangled thoughts. Unanswered questions, unsettling feelings, all of it wrapped around her, making her feel as if she were standing at a crossroads full of challenges. When Truong's mother opened the tray of salmon again this time, there was no strange smell like before. Everything seemed normal, but a thought briefly flashed through her mind, like a sudden lightning bolt. Could tieu nu be pregnant? And is the child in her womb? Truong's mother couldn't shake the feeling of unease as she considered this possibility. The doubt grew inside her, but just then, her phone rang. It was a call from the company, urgent and necessary. Work had suddenly called her away, and she had to leave immediately. All her thoughts about tieu nu and the pregnancy had to be put aside for the moment. Tieu nu changed her clothes and came out of the room, still feeling the exhaustion that hadn't faded. Truong's mother sat there, her worried expression not entirely gone. She shared that the company had called and needed her back right away to handle some work. The urgency in her eyes made Tieu nu feel uneasy, even though she didn't show it. Truong's mother only managed to give a few quick instructions before she hurried to leave. Tieu nu didn't say much, just nodded quietly, watching her leave with a tired gaze. She felt a little regretful that her visit had been so brief. Still, she understood that work was important, and her mother-in-law couldn't stay longer. But before leaving, Truong's mother couldn't stop worrying about Tieu nu's health. She repeated several times that Tieu nu should take care of herself, rest, and not overwork. She also reminded her to eat well, so she wouldn't get sick, because if she did, there would be no one to take care of Dewey, which only made her more anxious. Even though Tieu nu assured her that she would be fine, she couldn't calm her down. She looked at her one more time with concern before giving a few final instructions and getting ready to leave. Tieu nu felt a lump in her throat, wanting her to stay longer to talk, but understanding she had to go back to handle work. She watched her figure disappear, a little unease creeping into her heart. The worry wasn't just about her health, but also about the secrets she still couldn't reveal, which kept Tieu nu from relaxing. Once Truong's mother left the house, fell silent again. She was gone. But the questions about the child she was carrying and her uncertain future still lingered, haunting her. Tieu nu stood there, her heart heavy, gazing out into the yard, her eyes filled with quiet sadness. Everything inside her seemed to be waiting for a big decision, a moment of truth that would change everything. When Truong's mother was out of sight, Tieu nu returned inside, trying to regain her composure. She told herself she needed to rest, but she couldn't stop thinking about what had just happened. The doubts, the worries, all of it weighed heavily on her mind, making her feel trapped at a crossroads full of uncertainty. When Truong's mother returned to the office, a sense of unease began to rise within her. In her mind, a heavy worry was slowly taking shape. She couldn't shake the thoughts of Tieu nu's strange reactions earlier that day. The girl, always gentle and kind, had shown signs that made her pay attention. The sudden nausea rushing outside to vomit, the exhaustion clearly visible on her face. All of these things made her wonder, could Tieu nu be pregnant? She wondered if the child Tieu nu was carrying was Truong's, and if so, this would mark a turning point in both her and Truong's lives. Suddenly, she felt a mix of hope and anxiety stirring inside her. She understood that if Tieu nu were truly pregnant, her life would enter a new chapter, one full of challenges, but also the potential for great happiness. Yet she couldn't dismiss the fear that things might not be as simple as they seemed. A child is a joy, but also a huge responsibility. And Tieu nu would have to face all of that alone if Truong didn't return in time. Truong's mother had always hoped he would come back soon, so he could face these challenges with Tieu nu, and she wouldn't have to feel so alone. She believed that only the love and support from Truong could help Tieu nu stay strong through the upcoming changes. Tieu nu's life, always full of untold secrets and unresolved stories, made her even more worried. The turning points in her life always came with surprises, and if the child in her womb was truly Truong's, would Tieu nu be ready to face these big changes? Tieu nu's life with all its secrets yet to be uncovered, would always be intriguing and captivating to those on the outside. The stories tangled with love, responsibility, and the uncertainty of the future would undoubtedly continue to draw attention, keeping people hooked. If you enjoy stories filled with emotion and unexpected twists, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next developments. There are still many secrets about Tieu nu and Truong waiting to be discovered.